Now, just as I was about to go to bed and generally relax and stop talking about stupid shit like updates that I've already talked about today in terms of different games, Blizzard, aka the gods of my life at the moment in terms of Hearthstone in this game, decided to smack me across the head and wake me up inside. Oh my god, I'm tired of spouting off stupid shit, and to make me talk about this new character that just came out, Ana. Now, before I get into the character itself, if you were to ask me before this character came out what I'd want in a new character, I'd say a new support, because there's only about 2.5 supports in the game, and support is probably the most important character to have in the game, more than DPSs, because granted DPSs do damage, but supports keep everybody else alive, so they can do the damage. And if supports were off the table, I'd say snipers, because really there's only one sniper, and sniper is a very popular, useful subclass to have. So rather than pick one of these, they decided to take the high road and pick both. Ana, the new character, is a support sniper. Yes, you heard me right. She is a support sniper. She heals while she snipes. To be fair, I've seen it a couple of times, kind of long range methods of healing, but the concept of being a sniper while you heal people is, I don't know, I think I've seen it before once or twice, but it's kind of weird to me. The way she works is when she shoots an opponent, it does 80 damage over 0.5 seconds, and when she shoots a teammate, it heals them for 75 damage over 0.5 seconds. The problem is, it's a bolt action rifle, which means you need a really good shot to actually be able to hit both your teammates and your opponents individually quite often. You'd have to be hitting them pretty consistently for Ana to be healing and doing damage as consistency as she should be. I think she's a pretty difficult character to play, unless you've really good aim naturally in this game, which my aim, to be honest, isn't the greatest. Despite this, her heal is slightly faster than Zenyatta's. I mean, if you focus heal one person and keep shooting them while they're in a battle, you can keep them alive longer than if a Harmony Orb is on them. So I think she's slightly better at healing. However, her shot is much weaker than Widow's. I think she's a much weaker Widow than Widow is, and I think she's not going to replace Widow in the whole pick class metagame where they pick Widows to try and pick off people, because it won't kill anybody. I think she'll just be a better off-class support if somebody isn't very good at Lucio or doesn't want to play Lucio. Granted, I don't think she's the best replacement for Lucio, but she can be used as a maybe break-off support that's completely separate. Apart getting past her sniper rifle, she has pretty cool abilities. Her first ability is a sleep dart, which is pretty similar to McCree's flashbang, except the range is much longer, i.e. it's much more precise than the flashbang, but it's also much further out. So it's almost like firing a sniper, hitting somebody with the dart sometimes, but it is a very rewarding thing to get because it's very good for pick classing, and it's very good for stopping very specific ults. Like, the range really does matter because it stops soldier ults, it can stop McCree ults if you're faster on the draw. It can be very useful to use, especially for class-based ults. It can also take down very important picks like, Reinhardt's on the pushes or Mercy before reses. It can be a very effective ability. Her E is also kind of interesting. The way her E works is you throw it down, it heals people for 100 health, including yourself, or if you hit it on an opponent, it hits them for 60 health. But the really cool part about it is if you hit it on yourself and your teammates, it increases the heal rate of every other source by 100%, which is times 2. So if a Roadhog, for example, let's say hypothetically, he's at like 3 health, and you heal him for 100, and he gets shot maybe, and once again he's like 3 again. If he heals himself, he'll heal for 600, not 300, because it's times 2. However, if you heal a teammate, let's say you're shooting a enemy Roadhog, if you do before an enemy Roadhog heals, they won't heal. So all external healing gets blocked if you throw this thing at an enemy. So again, I think this is very much a matter of using this in the right time. There's certain occasions where this will be so effective. Like, for example, if a soldier throws down a healing station and you throw your E in the middle of it, it basically makes it so that anybody in that AoE doesn't really get the heals off it and they die much faster. Both these abilities are actually quite different from the rest of the supports, and I think they're much more effective because at the moment there's a big healing metagame where the more healing on the team, the better the team seems to do. So this is a great way to counteract that sense of healing in a game, which is interesting because it's a support counteracting it. Now, getting on to her final thing, her ult. Her ult is different from most support ults because most support ults, as in 3 of the 4 of them, are all I would call counter ults, or at least team fight ults. They're mostly used in team fights or encountering somebody else's ult, i.e. offensive ults. Zenyatta and Lucio's ults are most definitely used for counteracting offensive ults like Pharah's ult, Junkrat's ult, Hanzo's ult. It's very effective at doing that. But on the flip side, this is more for an offensive team than a defensive team. It's almost like a quick fix Uber in a way, because the way it works is you put it on a specific teammate, and for 8 seconds the teammate is faster. I'm not sure how much faster, but he's definitely much faster. He has a 50% damage buff, a 50% damage resistance, and this is for 8 seconds, which is interesting because it's the same duration as an Uber and a TF2, so if that's a good comparison for you, then there you go. This is very good if you pick it on specific classes, like for example, it's very, very good on tanks. The example they show in her intro video is on a Reinhardt, and a Reinhardt would be a good example of a good character to put it on, because Reinhardt's hammer with that buff would one-shot most characters at 200 health or below. So in saying that, it's very effective on certain classes, and I think it's a very good offensive class, and it's very good for focusing on one character and allowing them to do the work for you. If you're interested in the more lore side of Overwatch, Ana is Pharah's mum. She was a member of Overwatch, and she raised Pharah around Overwatch, which is why Pharah knows Overwatch, because all the original wave of Overwatch, i.e. Reinhardt, Mercy, McCree, the old Reaper, Soldier 76, all of those guys work with Ana back when they were much younger, and she seemed to go out of commission because she was shot in the eye by a Widowmaker. Funnily enough, because she wasn't able to shoot Widowmaker, which is an interesting thing, but I don't know, maybe there's some connection between Widowmaker and Ana, which is why she couldn't shoot her. But overall, it's a fairly generic sort of storyline. It's like, I'm a protective mother who didn't want my child to get into Overwatch because the dangers of Overwatch can be scarier than it looks, and I'm retired, but I'm not retired now, and my job isn't finished yet. It's almost the same as Soldier in a way, from the way her standpoint is. It's even the same as Soldier in that you don't know if she's a good guy or not in the end. Now in saying that, I want to hear what you think of Ana. I think she's a pretty efficient character. She might see some meta play, especially on offensive pushes. We'll see though, I have no idea. There could be the beginning of a 3 support meta, maybe when people on offensive side, instead of playing Widow, they'll play Ana, and they'll play 2 supports, and basically they might play 2 tanks and a DPS instead. That could be a thing. I mean, there's a lot of experimenting in comps at the moment. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and have a nice day.